calm, be an example. You know, if you're yelling and screaming, well, of course the kid's going to be yelling and screaming back. You know, the reason why they yell and scream is because they want something. Something is not going
or they
their
need
way.
Something.
And maybe teach them acceptance. Say, you know what, son or daughter, like, we can't always do that. And here's why we can't always do that. And explain it to them. And they're like, well, I still want it. Okay, well, that's awesome. But, you know, when you settle down and maybe we can do that. And there's different ways to do it, but this just, you know, you're acting like that, get to your room. No, you know, there's other things you can do besides just let them go isolate and get going in their head and just spinning that over and over. And people, I think, do that in jail, too, and they get in there and it's just blah, blah, blah. And, of course, in jail, like the, what's her name, Connie?
Yes.
Connie, she was in jail. She's like, I've seen so much, or she was in prison.
There's more drugs
there.
Yeah,
she's like, I've seen more.
Streets.
Yeah, that's what she said. And, you know, you're meeting different people, and most of them not so good. And some of them don't want to change. And, you know, here's you know, and for all kinds of stuff, not just, you know, substance use disorder. They're in there for maybe murdering people, I don't know, robbing people. The majority of that stuff, you're like, oh, but that is the drug people. And of course, if you're in recovery, you know, no, it's not all drug people, but some do, yeah. Some get to that point where they're too far gone. But if we would just sit down and understand them,
and reach them in an earlier stage too, where
try to help
you
them.
know, you have like a peer recovery coach come in, talk to them, you know, about their life, what's going on, you know, how they can make it better, what recovery looks like. Talk about your experiences, because most of us are in recovery. Well, we're not quite peer coaches yet, but we are going to go to the training in the fall. And I would like to, for myself, I'd like to be one with a broad perspective of all the different kinds of avenues, because, you know, mostly they'll throw you in treatment, then the court systems will tell you to start hitting up AA meetings, but there's a lot more avenues for recovery than just that. You know, you got smart recovery, just you got to get personalized with the person and come up with a plan that'll work for them. What's going to help them stay sober. Like Corey, his passion, his podcast and all that, and I'm really enjoying it too, and I really like helping people, and, you know, so that's where I kind of want to go with it too. And this is one way to do it, and we got more ventures to come, and that's the way people are going to recover. You know, they got to have goals and things to work towards, and a reason to do it. You know, and they have to be having fun in recovery for one.
Hell yeah!
And I think we bring that to the table for them.
Some people they don't know how to take us though. Like, I don't know.
They might be having too much fun.
Maybe, I don't know. Well, we're a couple fun guys, man. That's what we do. And hey, we didn't drink today. We didn't use today.
No,
life was good. It really was.
Became ambassadors instead.
Hell yeah. Okay, so here's a scenario for you, and I'm sure this has happened to everybody. You're at the grocery store. You're going to the checkout lane, and in front of you is this kid, maybe behind you, just screaming. The mom's like, just settle down. She's yelling at him.
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact that I don't like that situation. I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what to do. I just, you know, there was a story one time, this guy in Atlanta, like, punched the kid. I was like, that's too much. Yeah, he's in prison.
Yeah.
Bye. Okay, so
Can't
that
really
scenario,
do
you just
kids.
like, so you have two options. You can go to a different lane, check out there, just mind your own business, go on your way, just walk away from it. You know, it's still going on over here, but you're not a part of it. You just walked away. That made life easy, huh?
Yeah.
Or
there could be an intervention there.
Yeah, I'm saying, what could you do? You could be calm, and I think you could support the mother or father, whoever's having the hard time with the kid, and just say, hey, you know, my kid would do that too. I would have to just tell him, you know, blah, blah, blah. Not that I'm trying to tell you how to parent or anything. I've been there, man. Like, I would lie even and say that, you know, but just to be calm, kind of because when you're the parent, again, I don't have any kids either, so I'm just assuming this. You're kind of embarrassed, you're frustrated, and you go to that level. It's just like it's just ramping up for both sides, the kid and the mother.
And that comes with any kind of confrontation, you know. Are you either going to elevate the situation or bring it down, you know? You have to bring it down if you want any productivity. You have to get everybody calm.
Yeah. And if you kind of show them support, like, hey, man, I got you. Like, hey, man, I've been there. I've been through it. Don't worry, I'm not judging or nothing. You know, just take. You know, you try not to be like, you need to stay calm. You need to quit yelling at your kid. Don't do that because that can start a huge fight. And don't tell them how to parent. Just tell them, hey, you're there with them. You know, like have some empathy. Like, you know, get in the foxhole with them. Like, hey, man, been there, done that. Okay, so here's another scenario.
Mr. Rogers, what?
Now I would like to talk to kids. Mr. Hanky. No. All right, so here's another scenario. A guy moves in next door, and he's drinking all the a woman and a man. We'll just make it like that. Move in next door, and they're a couple drunks, drinking all the time, yelling, fighting, screaming. You know, or somebody with a substance use disorder. Okay, you could, again, two choices. You could
ignore it.
You just move. You could live in a different city. Just mind your business. You know, just bye. See, I'm out of here. Can't take it anymore. Or you could stay calm. Don't judge them, but actually support them, and you can inspire them. Going there, like, yeah, you know, listen to this podcast with these couple of awesome dudes, Corey and Ryan. Yes. Man, that podcast was awesome. I almost said podcast. That's what they call it. But yeah, and just say, hey, you know, like,
I mean, and
I don't have that problem, but I know somebody who does, you know, and there's a reason they're drinking like that. You know, it's not because they're having fun, especially if they're out back fighting all the time or yelling and screaming. It's not fun, and they have some problems. Maybe just go there and talk to them, you know, and don't start prying. Don't be like, hey, man, did your wife cheat on you again?
And most people who are aggravated with a situation, it's probably because they're feeling they're not being heard, so you can hear them out, you know, recap whatever they said, what their problems are, and try to find a healthy solution for them, you know, or I learned REBT, which is Rational Behavioral Therapy, Rational Emotive Behavioral Therapy, but in there, you take, like your wild ideas, when you're all heated, you're like, oh, she doesn't listen to anything I say, blah, blah. You got to take out words that, like, doesn't listen to anything. That's obviously not rational because she obviously listens to something you say, but when you're yelling and screaming, she's probably not going to address it. And turn it into something more rational, like, sometimes I feel like she's not listening, you know. Bring it down to a more rational level of what it really is instead of letting yourself ramp yourself up about the situation, you know, and blow it out of proportion. Basically, it's taking everything from out of proportion and putting it back into proportion and hopefully come upon a more rational decision and a more positive outcome will come, I believe, if it works.
Yeah, if you're having problems, listen to, you know, Ryan about some rationalizing. But if that's your neighbor, you just got to listen to him, man. Just go over there and just listen, and just kind of take it from there. But you can run away from it, I guess is my point. Run away from the kid, run away from the neighbor, or you can face it and
make a better community.
And most people, we just like to stick to ourselves, and especially, you know, we got our phones now. We're so anti-social. Yeah, it's kind of sickening, and you know, that's part of a TED Talk that I heard about, you know, rats in like this cage where, have you seen that one?
Are you turning this into your,
no, it's
i.e. like the,
no, they're these rats, and they would put them in this cage and they would give them water. And one of the waters was like laced and it had like cocaine or something in it. And the rat would always go to the cocaine. Well, they built like a rat park and put all the rats in this big park. Put the same water in there, the Coke water and the regular water. Occasionally, a couple of them would go to the Coke water, but they were all getting the regular water. None of them wanted that Coke water. They were all. It was a big community. You know, they were all socializing rats. They were all just a part of it. None of them. But every time they were left alone in isolation, boom, right to it, die, overdose. They would die. So I mean, it's the same. It's the same, really, for us. You know, and we need to reach out and be more sympathetic, be more understanding. You don't know what people go through, but you can make that choice yourself. You know, you can choose to move. You can choose to move, go to a different lane, or you can support the situation. You know, be a part of it, be a positive influence.
You can either make your surroundings better around you, or try to find a better surroundings. But basically, if you're moving anywhere, there's going to be people with problems, or maybe you're just more secluded from it. You know, they're doing it behind doors or whatever, because there ain't really anybody who's having the perfect life, and everybody has problems, and we're all in this together.
And they said too, you know, communities want to help. That's because they did all these. This is what we learned today. They did all these like surveys and stuff, and they're like, society wants to help. But the problem I have with that, though, is they kind of do. I mean, we love hearing the underdog story, you know. And I brought up Jason Hamilton, you know, and he was, hooked on drugs. The Cubs actually drafted him, and then immediately when they found out, they traded him to the Reds. And he did okay, sort of, and he was sober then. And then he went to Texas, and he did great in the home run derby. He was breaking records. His record just got broken this last year for most home runs in a round, but it was done in different fashion. Like, anyway, not talking baseball, but I'm just saying, everybody loved it, man. It was just top of the world, you know. And a couple of years later, he wasn't doing so well. I kept having like knee surgery, and he got drunk one night at a bar. Ended up like jumping on the bar and shirt off, and he's signing women's boobs, and just it wasn't a good scene. But it was so quick that society just in general just turned on him, and he just
people want to
build you up and then tear you right back down. And I don't know why. I don't know why. If that's just nature of the beast or what, but it's like people see us, you know, oh man, Corey, you're doing great. Ryan, you're doing wonderful. And we know there are people out there that want to see us fail, and they're just a matter of time. And that's fine. They have their opinion. If they want to live their life waiting for someone else to fail, that's great. People I don't like, I just don't associate with. I don't wish them well. I don't wish them bad. No, I was told, well, you got to pray for those people. I'm like, well, I'd rather just not even think about them.
If you ain't got nothing nice to say, probably shouldn't say nothing at all.
Yeah,
that's what my mama said.
Hey, speaking of that, can I talk about something else right now?
Yeah,
something that hit me yesterday, and I guess it bothered me enough to want to bring it up right now. But like, I don't really talk to my real father at all.
Yes.
Not my real father. I mean, whatever you want to call it.
Biological?
Yeah. He's kind of really never there, and I don't know. That's just how I remember it. And that could have been the trauma that maybe sparked everything. Who knows? But I'll deal with that later at another time. But I was just thinking, like, if I did have a kid, he wouldn't have that grandpa. And I guess it's the first time I've ever really thought about it, but I guess that's probably because my stepdad, was cool, and I would, hey, that's your grandpa. You know, like, the bloodline wouldn't really matter in that case for me. No. I would just, but it's just like, I mean, it kind of made me sad for my dad to think, man, if I have a boy, that would be like the Winfield that's going to carry on the Winfield name and all that, and he wouldn't even know. Like, I could have had a kid 3 weeks ago, and he wouldn't have known. But that's his loss. That's not my problem. And that it took me a long time to get over that and to kind of figure that out. Like, hey, you know what? I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought about that yesterday. That I guess that does kind of bother me a little bit.
But I mean, being a father is not just having a kid.
It's making it.
It's teaching them, helping them grow, and being there for them. what I believe. And if your stepdad is that, doesn't need to be your biological